Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Katie Walker.
And I'm Keziah Philpott. Thanks for tuning in.
The Utah legislature has begun the process of pulling $60 million from degree-granting institutions across the state. Roughly $2.5 million is expected to come from Utah Tech. House Bill 265, named the Higher Education Strategic Reinvestment, requires each institution to create their own plan that will reallocate funds throughout departments and programs. The bill has not yet passed, but will be discussed throughout the session, which ends on March 7th.
Former President Dr. Richard Biff Williams receives backlash from his new school, Missouri State University. An article was released by MSU student Ruby Knight, emphasizing the discomfort of Biff being MSU's president after sexual harassment allegations were released. I spoke to the co-editor-in-chief, Liz Garcia, and the writer of the article from MSU's student-ran news organization, The Standard. Here is what they have to say.
How do the students feel about President Biff Williams after the sexual harassment allegations came forward?
There was definitely a lot of tension kind of immediately after the news broke here in Springfield, and it just kind of felt very discombobulated a bit. I know especially on social media, there was kind of a lot of upset what he had done at Utah Tech. So there was just kind of a lot of confusion, and students were kind of wondering, like, where do we go from here now that he's our president?
I feel that just based on my reporting, this was a very difficult situation and sort of unprecedented in a way. And I think that the university did the best they could. They followed the procedures. And, you know, there's not a lot you can do in a situation like this.
All of that to say, though, is I feel like what President Williams did, like, should still be taken seriously, and we should all, like, look at it from different angles and understand why he might have done that and how that would impact him as a leader at our school.
Utah Tech University, there used to be a requirement to have a PhD for the president position. Now they bumped it down to a bachelor's. How would you guys feel if your university did this transition?
You're just prioritizing seeking an immediate replacement rather than looking for long-term stability or different other qualities that might be more essential in a candidate.
The future of Park City's infamous Sundance Film Festival is at risk amidst relocation bids from cities across the nation. Boulder, Colorado, and Cincinnati, Ohio are the cities who are in the final running for the location. Utah's proposal is less lucrative than the other cities, but includes splitting the festival between Salt Lake City and Park City to curb concerns of Park City being too small to continue hosting the festival. Sundance is a large economic opportunity for Utah, bringing in an average of $130 million to the state every year. Governor Spencer Cox has called leaving Utah a huge mistake for the festival. A decision on the festival's location is expected after this year's event concludes on February 2nd.
Shifting our focus to more local news, a pickup truck crashed into St. George Pioneer Park on Saturday, resulting in 3 individuals being hospitalized. Authorities reported that the truck, driven by one male, veered off the road and collided into a Subaru with a family inside. The 2 passengers from the Subaru and the truck driver were hospitalized with serious injuries. According to St. George Police, the cause of the crash is still unknown, and the investigation is still ongoing.
Here at the university, Utah Tech has launched a lecture series highlighting the history of St. George. The event is titled Heritage Cove Lecture Series and is free to attend for students and the community.
So the event coming up is called the Heritage Cove Lecture Series, and the focus of the event is to have local presenters, so people who are involved and passionate about local history are going to present on a variety of topics about local history topics, heritage, etc. We have 4 different presenters, so they'll be presenting each Tuesday in February in the Boeing Auditorium in the Haase Building, and it'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. They're all interesting in their own ways. I think for me, the one I'm most interested in is the Augean Stable, because it's such a unique story. It's not one that many people locally are familiar with, and so I'm excited to hear about that one. One of the projects we're working on, that I'm currently working on, is a Written Memories project. So I'm doing that in conjunction with Special Collections and Archives, but really what we're trying to do is collect the written memories of people living in Washington County, because the place is just changing so dramatically and so quickly. And so we just kind of want to get a snapshot of places that people live and have loved here. Because in 10 or 20 years or 50 years, a lot of these places will be gone. And so we kind of want to preserve some of that. So if you're interested, it's called Then and Now. You can access it from the Heritage Cove website at utahtech.edu. /Heritage Cove. On there you can access that, and then we'd love to get student responses too for that, because students are part of the community here too.
Utah Tech is hosting its annual casino night on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with free admission for students. This event is a chance to get dressed up with your friends and test your luck on blackjack, roulette, poker, and more. The Gardner Ballroom on campus will be transformed into a Vegas-style gambling den. Instead of winning money, there will be chances to win a wide variety of prizes. Scan the QR code on the screen to reserve your ticket.
Back to Biff Williams, I think it's going to be really interesting to see the way MSU handles this scandal, if that's what you want to call it, and compare it to the way that Utah Tech has handled it.
Yeah, I really do think, I hope that they don't handle it the same way, and considering we haven't had a president for over a year now, I just wish MSU all luck. Coming up after the break, sports anchor Katie Phipps will bring you all of the latest Trailblazer highlights.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine. Why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
In the southwest corner of Utah, nestled among the towering walls of Zion National Park, is a place where stunning scenery is your constant companion. Here, 2,400 square miles combine for a vast playground. We are a place to immerse yourself, to lose yourself, to find yourself. We are Greater Zion.
Utah Tech women's track athlete Roshana Gibson set a program record in the indoor 60-meter sprint at the Snake River season opener in Pocatello, Idaho. Gibson clocked in at a 7.61 seconds, beating her previous record by just 0.03 seconds and securing a second place finish. Teammate Whitney Christensen also brought home a second place finish in the 400 meters with a time of 56.59 seconds. 8 athletes finished in the top 8 across various events. They will race again tomorrow, January 31st in northern Arizona. Utah Tech women's tennis had a tough outing on the road in Logan against Utah State University with just 1 win out of 7 matchups. Sophomore Mariana Zarita picked up her first victory, defeating Aggie Anna Sobikova in singles, ending both matches 7-5. Teammate Olivia Bustos fought hard, forcing a tiebreaker against Olivia Halverson, but ultimately fell short, losing both matches. The women will be back in action on Valentine's Day in Las Vegas, taking on Idaho State University. Men's basketball player Beon Riley speaks on a tough loss against Grand Canyon University and preparation for upcoming opponents.
I think it all just comes down to our start rather than anything else. I feel like we came out a little bit flat, and usually we have sparks off the bench, or usually somebody on the floor gives us a spark, but I feel like nobody really did that. And I'll take responsibility. Me as a captain, I feel like I get the team together and get us into something better. I think momentum is a huge part. I mean, the game is whoever has the most momentum is going to win the game, Hakeem's shot at the end of the half, I feel like I thought it counted, but I think that would have been a huge momentum shift for us. But I think we got to just come up with our own momentum, our own motivation, our own energy every single time. It's not just my team, it's myself too. Like I said, I'm a captain of the team. I got to do a better job.
The Trailblazers will face off conference opponents Tarleton State University and University of Texas Arlington next week with hopes to repeat success. Man, our women's athletes have been having an incredible spring season. So many different records being beat and set. It's incredible.
Yep, they're definitely representing Utah Tech incredibly well.
Now the men just have to get on this bandwagon.
Yes, let's keep up the good work, ladies, and let's see some more effort from these men's teams. And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. Thanks again for tuning in.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.